everybody. Alex Weaver joining you live here from Studio 3 in Charlotte, North Carolina. A huge day for the sport of NASCAR and an exciting announcement on deck. We're going to break it all down, including in-studio analysis breakdowns from Steve Letarte, Kyle Petty, and Kim Coon. But to kick things off, let's head out to downtown Chicago.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marty Snyder from NBC Sports. It's a pleasure to be here in Chicago for today's special event. Want to welcome the media, the many special guests in attendance as well, everyone listening and watching on NASCAR.com, as well as everyone on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Want to also welcome NASCAR CEO Jim France and NASCAR Executive Vice Chair Lisa Kennedy. They have both been so instrumental in making today's announcement a reality. I want to say a welcome and thank you to the many public officials from the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, who are here today. Please hold your applause to the end. Paul Goodrich, the COO, City of Chicago. Samir Mayakar, Deputy Mayor of Chicago. Michael Fasnock, CEO, World Business Chicago. Superintendent David Brown, Chicago Police Department. Alderman Walter Burnett. Alderman Scott Wagasback, Glenn Eden, Choose Chicago Board Chair, Senator Don Harmon, President of the Illinois Senate, and Sylvia Garcia, Director of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Thank you all for being here so much today. Also want to say a big thanks to all the folks who have walked by and stopped to see the cars and see this press conference. We're so glad you're here for today's big announcement. Thank you guys for stopping by as well. This promises to be one of the most exciting announcements in NASCAR history, especially as the sport celebrates its 75th anniversary in 2023. That's pretty cool, isn't it? To help make this announcement, please welcome up NASCAR Senior Vice President, Racing Development and Strategy, Ben Kennedy, everyone.
Great, thank you, Marty. And as Marty mentioned, thank you all for being here today. This is a monumental day in the history of our sport, NASCAR. And as Marty mentioned, next year we'll be celebrating our 75th year anniversary. In 75 years, our sport has never had a street course. And I am excited and proud to announce to you today that on July 2nd, 2023, the NASCAR Cup Series will be coming to downtown Chicago and racing here. So really excited about it.
Against the sky blue waters of Lake Michigan, a city rises at the center of the American experience. Amongst the canyons of skyscrapers, impossible doesn't exist. This is a place where all who dare make the most of their dreams. After all, icons that tower above the rest were made here. So in this city of the greatest of champions, this city, with its buildings that dagger the sky as if height is but a dare, this city, without limitations, welcomes its next icon. A race weekend like no other, on a course like no other. Along these shores, amongst these canyons, the sounds of NASCAR will echo in 2023.
Certainly incredible, and we're all very excited about it. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank the media for coming out. And just want to say thank you to the city of Chicago. You have been instrumental in your support for this. We have Mayor Lori Lightfoot here. She has been fantastic. Cara Bachman was the Sports Commission. All the state leaders and city officials, we appreciate all of your support in helping us get to today. We know we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but we look forward to it. So looking forward to bringing up our panelists and talking a little bit more about this.
Pretty cool stuff there. So as Ben mentioned, we'll have a terrific group of panelists here. So let's welcome them up now. Joining us, NASCAR President Steve Phelps today. Driver of the number 23 McDonald's Toyota Camry for 2311 in the NASCAR Cup Series, driver Bubba Wallace. The Mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. And the Executive Director of the Chicago Sports Commission, Cara Bachman. Pretty esteemed panel we have going on here. So, Mayor Lightfoot, obviously this is a huge moment for the city of Chicago, massive undertaking for not only the city, but for NASCAR as well. Why was it important to bring NASCAR to your city?
Well, first of all, let me thank all the folks in NASCAR. When we started talking about this opportunity a year ago, the excitement among all of us, and particularly me, about the possibilities was just off the charts. This is a huge, huge sports town. I think that goes without saying. And the opportunity to bring something so unique as NASCAR to the city of Chicago, and I think it's going to be one of the most iconic race courses maybe ever. And introduce a whole new fan base to what NASCAR is about in the city of Chicago. We couldn't pass up that opportunity. The fans of NASCAR, I don't have to tell you, are broad and wide and deep. And the opportunity to really, I think, ignite our tourism with a new iconic event on the calendar was a no-miss opportunity. So I want to thank NASCAR. I want to thank the Kennedys. You've both been tremendous partners for us. I want to thank Cara Bachman and the folks at the Sports Commission and Choose. But you look at this crowd and you know why we need to bring NASCAR to Chicago. This is the tip of the iceberg, and I think the excitement is now going to be off the charts, and people are really going to be looking forward to July of 2023 when the cars hit the streets here.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool point, because look at all these fans who have just stopped in the street, Ben. I mean, they're coming to watch, see what's going on here. You know, NASCAR has made several big moves, Ben, with the schedule over the last couple of years. Where does this one rank in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think to your point, if you look at our schedules over the past couple of years, we've made a lot of bold changes. We went to LA Coliseum earlier this year. New tracks went to Worldwide Technology Raceway about a month or so ago. But I'd say of all the changes, this is our boldest change as a schedule. We've said, and it's been pretty synonymous when we announce the schedules, that we want to be bold and innovative as we think about new venues and new concepts that we're going to. This is number one on the list for us right now. And it's certainly going to be the most anticipated event of our season and one of the biggest sporting events in our country in 2023. So we're really excited about it. And, as Mayor Lori Lightfoot had mentioned, you think about Chicago, you think about the rich history of sports here. You think about the iconic skyline, you think about the iconic landmarks around the city, Navy Pier, Cloud Gate, a handful of them. To actually have our NASCAR Cup cars racing around the streets of Chicago is going to be something just incredible. So, we'll get into it in a little bit, I know, but as you think about the race weekend, it's going to be on July 1st and July 2nd next year. So we'll have one of our IMSA sanctioned series that will be competing on Saturday. Our NASCAR Cup Series, our Premier Series, will be competing on Sunday. And really want to create an event-driven atmosphere around it. Want it to be fun. We want it to be, a great atmosphere and experience for a lot of people that come out. get to enjoy racing, get to enjoy music, get to enjoy a lot of the great things that Chicago has to offer.
First street course for NASCAR. So what are your goals for this race, Ben?
We have a lot of goals, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
there is no shortage of goals on this one. I'd say the first couple that come to mind is we want to put on great racing for our fans. I think if you look at the Cup schedule today, some of the best racing that we see are on road courses. I think this is going to be very similar to that. And I think our fans will see a really exciting show. And we were driving around it earlier today. When you go down Columbus and you go down Lakeshore, a lot of passing zones and passing lanes that Bubba and I know the driver is going to have the ability to do. And then
You see the fingers crossed there, right? Yeah.
fingers crossed. So I think that's part of it. I think part of it is creating a fun atmosphere for everyone that's coming out. I think in ways this will feel like a traditional NASCAR race. I think in a lot of ways it's going to feel completely different too. It's going to feel new. It's going to be innovative. Similar to the Coliseum, that felt very different from kind of a traditional NASCAR race. So we'll still have a lot of those traditional elements, but it's also going to be feel new and exciting for a lot of the folks that come out. And then I'd say the last one, an important one, is we really want to have a positive impact on the city of Chicago as well. They've been great partners with us along the way, and looking forward to bringing this to life. And I think a big part of that is really having a positive impact on the city and community. Working with the different departments in the area, and it's great to have the Boys and Girls Club out here as well. I know we've got a couple simulators out back if anyone wants to take a couple laps around the course.
Okay.
Try it out. We're actually going to be donating those afterwards to the Boys and Girls Club. So really looking forward to it.
Mayor Lightfoot's already volunteering people for the simulator. So, yeah, I saw that.
I'm telling him, let the kids go first.
You're holding people back. That's good. Let the kids go first. Steve, I want to bring you into this. If I had to pick two words really for NASCAR and schedule changes over the last 2 years, bold and innovative kind of come to mind in my opinion. How does this announcement sort of fit in with the overall strategy of NASCAR?
Yeah, I think the two words are right, Marty, and Ben had said it, bold and innovative. I think if you think back to 2020, being the first sport back to competing during a COVID world was important for us. The first sport back to competing in front of fans. It's important for us and the country, frankly, to get back into a rhythm that people were familiar with. I think it was unexpected. We've done a lot of things that I think are unexpected. The stance we took on social justice, our efforts that we've done since then in diversity, equity, inclusion have been very important for our sport. Schedule variation, we had our boldest schedule ever in 2021. The changes that we made were significant, followed up by, to Ben's point, the clash at the Coliseum was tremendous, going to Worldwide Technology Raceway as well. So continue to have changes to the schedule. This announcement is obviously unbelievable. I mean, first time I heard that this was a possibility, I'm like, wow, that would be really cool. And getting Mayor Lightfoot and all the community to embrace us is huge for us. But I think it goes past just the schedule. I think it really is, if you think about the car itself, our next-gen car, and what the racing that has put on for us has been fantastic. So our three OEM partners, Toyota, Chevy, and Ford, leaning in, our race teams, our drivers, I mean, arguably the best racing in the history of our 75 years. And that's what this car has done for us. It's important. So we want to continue to be bold and innovative as people think about NASCAR in the future, because that's exactly what we're going to do.
Bubba, I want to hear from you as a driver. How excited are you to be a part of the first ever street course race as a Cup Series driver?
Yeah, just like at the racetrack, I'm excited for this cloud coverage right now 'cause it's hot. But no, I think just congrats to NASCAR, congrats to the city of Chicago. This is monumental for our sport. There's a lot of unknowns, and if you've been following my journey for the last little bit, I've always said the unknowns is what excites me. It excites me, and so I don't know what to expect going into this deal. I know that these guys got a lot of work to do, and the city does too, to get it ready, but it's exciting. I think Mayor Lightfoot said it earlier, being in this city, bringing NASCAR to this demographic. We talk about how representation matters, and I think exposing this sport to this area downtown with so much to do around while the race is going on is super important. So you're going to get that next Bubba Wallace that's sitting in the stands like I was when I was 9 years old, to be like, hey, I want to do this one day, but I want to be better. And I'm going to tell him good luck.
Exactly right. You've become an incredible ambassador for the sport, for your partners over the last few years. What does competing in an iconic city like Chicago do for the sport and partners in the sport as well?
Yeah, well, obviously, you guys know one of the majority of our team has done a lot for this city. Michael Jordan, obviously, being under his banner, being under his wing, and knowing how much that he means to the Chicago area is super cool, and I'm proud to carry that into our race team and into our race cars and to the racetrack. And so, for being here, like I said earlier, it's just the representation, showing that NASCAR can survive in a market like this and will succeed in a market like this is very beneficial. And so, just proud to be a part of it, proud to be having my voice and my opinion in the matter. And just making the most of it. The biggest thing that I was always asked from my dad growing up when we were racing was, "Are you having fun?" And this has fun written all over it, so we'll make the most of it.
That's awesome. Carl, I want to talk to you because you've been to several NASCAR races. Nobody probably knows Chicago sports better than you do. So how does this fit in with the essence of what Chicago sports is?
Well, it's a great fit. I think NASCAR and Chicago share a lot in common, and we have a number of nicknames, and one really resonates when we talk about Chicago and NASCAR, and that's the city that works. We're about hard work. We're about our people. NASCAR has those same values. Both of us are about giving back, building up, creating opportunities for youth and communities. We're innovative. We're problem solvers constantly. We're accepting new challenges, and we're all working together. And you see that in Chicago, and you see that at every NASCAR race. You see that synergy between the driver and a pit crew, and can't have one without the other to get the success that they need to do to be a winning team. So on behalf of the Sports Commission and Choose Chicago, and our board chair, Glenn Eden's here today. Thank you, Glenn. We just couldn't be prouder to be on a team with NASCAR and welcoming the first ever street race to Chicago. And just very grateful for the leadership of our mayor. And you mentioned that who knows sports better than I. Well, I'm surprised she didn't challenge you on that, but we can maybe share that. But I just want to say, thank you for mentioning some of the contributing team members in your earlier remarks, and I'll just mention a few more people who've been really phenomenal in this process, including Bob Ryder, the president of Chicago Federation of Labor. Thanks for being here, Bob. Andrew Velasquez, First Deputy Commissioner of Chicago Department of Aviation, terrific partners there. Rose Ascarina, newly minted Superintendent CEO of the Chicago Park District. Her and her entire team really could not absolutely have done this without all of you, so thank you so very much. I believe CDOT, First Deputy Commissioner Carney is here, and I think Commissioner Stollard is here, and we have Commissioner Harkey and Jennifer Johnson-Washington with DK's tremendous partners. Our city works so well together, so you can expect a tremendous event here in Chicago. Finally, thank you to the Chicago Sports Commission Board who've supported us from day one. They like to battle out what their favorite event is, but I have a feeling this is going to definitely take the cake as our greatest accomplishment in the 10 years that the Sports Commission has been operating. So thank you all to your support. And I would just say that yes, we're the city that works. We have a number of nicknames. We also, sometimes they say second city, but I really think, NASCAR, you're making us number one, so we'll take that.
I'm not here to run second, so.
We'll do that. Number one. That's where we're at.
Well, Carl, we appreciate your work and everyone you mentioned as well to make this day happen. So I want to welcome up to the stage Jim France, Lisa Kennedy, to present Mayor Lightfoot with a very special gift from NASCAR.
Mayor, we want to thank you for everything that you and your city of Chicago have done to get us to this very special day. And I think it's only appropriate for the first ever street course in NASCAR's history of your city on the helmet. And I think I would take care of that pretty quick because I saw a young guy over there that wanted to put it on and might want to race down the road. So with that, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you.
Have you guys step forward for a photo real quick, and everybody on the stage, please get into the photo opportunity. You good? All right. There we go. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank everyone on stage for making today's historic announcement happen. It will truly be a much-watched event on NBC Sports next year. Please visit NASCARChicago.com for more event information and to sign up for event alerts. Tickets will go on sale later this year. To the media on site, several members of the panel will be available at the Step and Repeat banner right over here. If you can step over there. In addition, we'll have representatives from each of the manufacturer partners available for interviews as well. Following the breakout interviews, Bubba Wallace is going to drive his car, yes, that car over there, the McDonald's one, through the streets of Chicago, making stops at some of the iconic locations for photo ops. There will be a van for photographers to join, take the ride with them. And there'll also be a follow-up Zoom session later with Ben Kennedy and Mayor Lightfoot. If you do not have a link, please see a member of the NASCAR communications team. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day in the wonderful city of Chicago.
Well, race fans, there you have it. It is official. The NASCAR Cup Series will take to the streets of downtown Chicago on July 1st and 2nd of 2023. For all the latest event info and to sign up for event alerts, make sure to visit NASCARChicago.com. Tickets will go on sale this summer. Now joined in Studio 3 by two of our cohorts here on the backseat drivers table from NBC Sports, both Kyle Petty and Steve Letarte. All right, guys, so we have heard the announcement. Chicago Street Course, here we come for the NASCAR Cup Series. We haven't been to the Chicago market since 2019. Yep. So, KP, we'll start with you. How significant is it for NASCAR to be bringing a race back to the Chicago market?
I think it's huge. I think going to LA, to the Coliseum, was huge. You brought the race to LA. You're bringing the race to Chicago. People that wouldn't necessarily go to a racetrack will open their doors, will stand on the sidewalk, will come out to see what's going on down the street. So it's a totally different audience, and that's what NASCAR has done a good job of doing, is taking the sport to the fans, for the fans that couldn't or wouldn't come to the sport. So I think it's huge for the sport.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's our responsibility as a sport to give fans all across the country the opportunity to see it in person. I know we work on TV and they're great on TV, but nothing in the world replaces being at a race in person, hearing the cars, seeing the stars. Yeah. It's great times. And then to be at a city kind of location in the streets, the event itself is going to be just completely nuts. It's going to be great.
It's going to be an event.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, well, it will be 12 corners, 2.2 miles around the heart of Chicago. So what excites you the most about this street race? Because we're going to break the lap down and let you guys get an early view of what drivers will be taking on there in the streets of Chicago. But what's the most exciting part?
I like the fact that, you know, what made the Coliseum so good was that it was a track built in a stadium, something we had never seen. So when you look at stats and who's going to be good, you had no idea. Well, now a street course is not a standard road course. For years, we had gone to Sonoma, Watkins Glen. We have branched out to some other great facilities, but they're all relatively standard road courses. No part of them are temporary. When you look at a street course, everything is different. The visuals are different.
Yes.
The surface is going to be a huge conversation because it will change from lap one to the checkered flag. Yep. So what excites me the most is who is going to go here as a competitor and see opportunity.
Yeah.
See, how can we attack this differently? KP, from atop the pit box, my choices are probably going to be endless on how to dissect this race.
Yeah. What excites me from a fan's perspective is the visual. Is the visual of finally seeing Cup cars running by skyscrapers, finally seeing Cup cars running down into a neighborhood, hanging a right and blasting out. I've run Long Beach a couple of times in a couple of races. And it is the visual of seeing these cars in a neighborhood, blasting by restaurants, doing that is just crazy. It is crazy when you step back. And to be able to do that is pretty spectacular. From a driver's standpoint, I think what excites me is the challenges that it throws at you. As Steve talks about the changing surface. You know, have you ever been on a street that was level? I've never been on one, you know what I mean, with potholes and with everything that goes on. And that's going to be fixed, don't get me wrong, but it's still not a fixed base. It's still not what we're used to. The blind corners are going to be impossible. That's something that we don't experience at Sonoma or Watkins Glen or Road America, places like that. When you come up and that Jersey barrier is right there and you can't see around it, it's going to be nerve-wracking for a driver. So I think there's so many challenges that the drivers have never faced on an oval, have never faced on the road courses that we run, that, as Steve said, the drivers that look at it and say, opportunity, I'm going to go in here and kick everybody's rear end because I look at this as a plus, not the negatives that enter your mind. I think that's going to be exciting to see who rises to that.
Well, we've talked on some of the course challenges, but I have to imagine when it comes to a street course, you can't make a mistake here.
Well, so I think attrition is going to be high because mistakes are going to be penalized, right? There's a Jersey barrier on each side. There's no gravel. There's no runoffs. But what I do want to say is the majority of sanctioning bodies that run on street courses are cars that are not meant for contact.
Yeah.
You know, they're open wheel. They're in a position where you have to be very precise. It's tons of speed, and it's really hard to try to make a pass without damage. Well, now we're going to bring cars that are designed for contact. And I think that's great because you just can't bulldoze your way through because you'll end your day as well. But the opportunity and the aggression will be way higher in a NASCAR race at a street course than any other series we've ever seen run on the streets in the past. So I think that's the issue. P mentioned the blind corners. I think the rights. So we talk about the lefts. Drivers on the left side, I think his vision's going to be pretty good turning to the left. We see turn 11 at Sonoma. They can't seem to get through there without hitting the tire stack on the inside. Well, now that tire stack is going to be a concrete Jersey barrier. You're not going to move that thing back over the course of the race. I think the rights, if I'm a driver, the rights are the area they're going to be the most uncomfortable. I'm on the wrong side of the car, having a hard time seeing the apex. And in the end, who is going to figure it out? We talk a lot about talent. And it gets displayed on a lot of the same tracks all the time, and we look at history. Well, this is just going to be raw ability. Who can take a very heavy, overpowered car, low grip, and find their way through some of the most famous streets in the world? I mean, how could this not be awesome? It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, look, you look at the course, you look at and you talk about it. It's not a finesse. You're going to have to, we're not going to see what we see in Formula One. We're not going to see what we see in IndyCar racing. We're not even going to see what we see in the WeatherTech series, in the IMSA series. These cars will take a little bit of a blow. You're going to see people leaning on each other. As you say, there's not a runoff area. What if I get position on you, Steve, and I just run down in the corner and ease you out? You got to stop. You've got to stop because there's a Jersey barrier there. You know what I mean? There's not a runoff area that you can run off. So it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive some of these guys can be and what they get away with.
I'm hoping the guy behind you is nice enough to let me in line. Because at some point I need to get back in line.
Not going to happen, man. Not going to happen.
Guess what? There will be one in victory lane. One driver will figure it out. How many times they hit the Jersey barrier? Who knows? But there will be a car in victory lane. All right, well, lucky for us, we did see the Chicago Street Course ran on iRacing with the NASCAR Cup Series drivers getting in that a couple years ago. But now we're going to break down a lap around this street course. It will be 12 corners, as we said before, 2.2 miles. So let's see what the streets of Chicago will look like. Letart and KP, break it down for me.
Well, it starts right here at KP. Double foul restarts perhaps into this left-hander. You're going to have to concede at some point. Not a lot of runoff room. I think that's going to have to be single thread. But if you are on the outside, it'll give you position over here to the right-hander.
Yeah, but look how blind this right-hander is. As you talked before, you're on the opposite side of the car. You've got to swing back and get yourself in position. If you're on the inside right there, that's a tough corner to make no matter what gear you're in.
This is a crew chief's dream, a kind of a long sweeping double right-hander. I believe I can give my driver a better car than someone else. That's an area that you can overtake. This is kind of up to the drivers. Back-to-back 90s. You're going to have to figure it out, and figure it out in a hurry because KP, I think this is a major passing zone, heavy braking, left-hand corner.
This is a braveness tester right here. How willing are you to push and push the issue going into this corner? You're on the left side, you know where you're at, you know what you've got to do, but you're going to hang that guy out, and that guy's going to get hung out bad.
And then this is a big point of concern for the teams. How are you going to navigate from 4 lanes to 2 on those right-handers? I love it. It's the same for everyone. Now we just had a sweeping right-hander. Now we're going to sweeping left-hander. Thanks a lot. I have my car set up to turn right. Now we're going left. Back into a right-hander, really right-hand dominant as we see at most road courses.
Yeah, really right-hand dominant. But you look at this, there's a topo change. We're going up over a bridge. These things get a little light as you come down. You're braking hard here, you're hanging rights. Again, these blind corners are fascinating to me, and it's a blind right-hand corner. So I think it's the visuals of this racetrack are something like we've never seen before.
You know what it provides I saw in that last corner, though? If I'm to your bumper, I like my chances better than yours.
Or you already have the crew chief hat working? Like how fuel mileage, everything?
Oh, listen, crew chief hat is working, analyst hat is working even more, because I mean, it's going to be so much fun to watch. And what are the goals going to be? You know, we see an open wheel, you say track position dominates these because you can't seem to move the guy in front of you. Well, as we've seen this year specifically, moving people hasn't really been a problem. Everyone seems to be hitting everyone. This race, I can assure you, is not going to temper any enthusiasm. It's going to, if anything, turn up the rivalries.
And listen, you look, and we started the conversation this way. This is an event. This is a huge mark in the column of NASCAR moving forward. And I think from a driver perspective, to say that you won the very first street race in the Cup division is huge. We've seen Joey Logano take the dirt. We've seen Joey Logano take the Coliseum. Is this a Joey Logano name already on the trophy? When you look at it like that. But I think when we look at those milestones in this sport, to be able to take our game, to be able to take the NASCAR game, to take the NASCAR sport and integrate it into a city landscape is a huge step forward, because nobody's building $600 and $700 billion racetracks anymore. We've got to find another place, and this is a great way.
Yeah, quite the weekend for the NASCAR Cup Series. We're heading to the Chicago Street Course. You saw the lap broken down. Thanks both for joining me. Now, this is not the first time that NASCAR has raced in the Chicago area. As you can see, the first being Soldier Field with the Premier Series event in 1956, as well as the NASCAR Convertible Series that year and the next year in 1957. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series took their talents to Chicago Motor Speedway in 2000 and 2001, as well as all of NASCAR's National Series at Chicagoland Speedway from 2001 to 2019. Obviously, a lot of history between the Chicago area and NASCAR. Now, you heard what Bubba Wallace thinks, but let's hear from a couple other of his competitors in the NASCAR Cup Series on what they think of the street course in downtown Chicago.
It would be the first street course that we've ever done that I know about in NASCAR, and a lot of people, maybe they haven't seen the sport before or been to a race, and you know, you bring it to them at a unique location in the city of Chicago, and it draws people in.
You're going to be able to watch races in ways that you've never been able to before. Basically, imagine being in the Goodyear blimp all the time from a building and looking down from that angle, knowing that there's like real skyscrapers right across that wall, and we'll be able to see them from inside the car, you know, at times. So we'll focus in on the track specifically, but just the art of driving through a city like that is unknown to me, and it's really exciting.
The street courses are always really tight, narrow racetracks.
In practice, it'll be super important to push the limits and to find how deep we can go. These next-gen cars have incredible braking capability, better than I've ever felt in a stock car, and finding that edge is going to be tough.
A lot of these tracks that we go to, you know, ovals and things like that, even most road courses, you know, they're kind of out in a bunch of land, kind of with nothing around. You know, that's what they have to be.
To me, it's grow or die. I mean, we have to keep growing. We have to keep expanding.
The idea of street courses, it just brings it to a whole different market, a whole different venue. And I mean, hey, if people get excited for it and we're able to put on a good race for everybody and it grows the sport, you know, I'm all for it.
So our drivers are excited about it. Fans, I know you're pumped up about it, but NASCAR is also excited about racing in the streets of downtown Chicago. Our Kim Kuhn recently caught up with Ben Kennedy to get his thoughts on the planning and how the anticipation for this event is going to build throughout the year. Take a look.
Hi race fans, Kim Kuhn here, joined by NASCAR SVP Racing Development Strategy, Ben Kennedy. Huge announcement, NASCAR is going street racing, the Chicago Street Course added to the 2023 schedule, Ben. This is a big endeavor, so what did this look like from idea to planning, and then how will it look from planning to execution next season?
No, thank you, Kim, and really excited about announcing that for the first time with our national series that we'll be bringing it to a street course. And what better place to do it than downtown Chicago, such an iconic city. You think about the history of sports there, the iconic monuments and facilities around Chicago, and the support that we've had around Chicago as well. And, mix that in with the great racing that we've seen with our NASCAR Cup Series. Certainly going to be a very special moment in the summer of 2023 as we go street course racing for the first time with the series. So this actually started, I would say, around the time that that we came up with the concept around the LA Coliseum in the fall of 2019. And really for a long time, I've worked with a specialized marketing group out of Chicago, helping come up with the concept and idea of a street course in downtown Chicago. Ultimately that led to the iRacing event that we had there in the summer of last year on June 2nd. And then, continued the planning process, certainly working with the Sports Commission and with the city and a handful of the departments in Chicago to get to where we're at today. So certainly a lot of work by the team in coming up with not only the vision, the iRacing event to be able to prove out what the track would look like, but then ultimately what the site plan looks like, what the events and activities will look like on the event weekend, which will look significantly different from what we've seen. At a lot of some of our other events, we'll have a number of different music acts, different entertainment options throughout the weekend. IMSA will be joining us with one of their series as well, leading into the Cup Series on Sunday. So really excited about it. A lot of work by the team so far to get to where we're at today. A lot of work to go before July 1st and 2nd of next year, though.
So you mentioned July 1st and 2nd. It's kind of taking that July 4th weekend over. So what does that mean for the future of the NASCAR schedule and for the racing at Road America? Because we've seen it there the last 2 years.
Yeah, the July 4th weekend has always been a special weekend for us. You think back to Daytona racing there, certainly Road America having events there the past couple of years. And it's an early start to NBC's portion of the season. Usually it's their second or third event of the year. So certainly a lot of momentum going into that weekend. I think having a Chicago street course event around that weekend, certainly the city of Chicago comes alive in the summer and certainly comes alive around July 4th. So we think it's going to be really special from that perspective. On the Road America front, we won't be going back with the Cup Series in 2023. They've been great partners. We've seen some great racing there over the past couple of years with the Cup Series. We've seen, a great turnout from a fan base perspective. Unfortunately, won't be going back with the Cup Series, but I'd say as far as the 2023 schedule goes, stay tuned for more on the Cup Series, Truck Series, and Xfinity Series, and look forward to sharing more on that here, hopefully in the next month or so.
We saw such great success with the Clash at the Coliseum. If we see the same success with this Chicago street course, what kind of opportunities does this open up for the sport, for its schedule, for its fan base?
It's huge. And, similar to the LA Coliseum, in a way, it was kind of a proof of concept for us, right? We've never done anything like it before. It's the first time in our sports history that we've literally built a temporary track inside of such an iconic stadium. And I think it gives us the ability, and we've talked about this before, gives us the ability to go into new markets. And I think street courses gives us that ability as well. That said, it's important for us to keep the integrity that we've had in the schedule, right? Mile and a half, super speedway, short tracks are all important to our schedule. Adding a street course to the schedule, I think, is going to, continue to make it probably the most diverse motorsports schedule that exists out there today. And we're really excited about that. But I think it gives us the ability, as we think, on into the future, to enter some of the new markets and look at some of our events in different ways. And, to have an event in LA, which is our biggest market, was spectacular earlier this year. And then to bring it to Chicago, which is, one of our top 3 markets in the US and the world, frankly, for NASCAR fans, will be special as well. So we're really looking forward to it.
You've mentioned a lot of great things surrounding what will be a very, very exciting and historic moment in NASCAR's history. But for you, what are you most excited about for this Chicago street course?
I'm just excited to see it come alive. You know, a ton of planning around this. I know we'll probably share some fly-through videos as well of some of the concepts that we're talking about as we think about entertainment around the weekend, different hospitality options. We really want to make this a very special event and make it feel like almost like a festival for our fans. Certainly, you know, the kind of spotlight will be on the Cup Series and on the IMSA Series throughout the weekend, but we're going to have different activities for fans that are coming out. And, you know, as a part of that, we want to make it feel like Chicago as well. So as you think about those different entertainment options, it will certainly feel like Chicago when fans come out next summer. So still a lot of work to do on that front. We'll be working with, you know, a handful of the city departments, as well as some of our partners on this to help really bring it to life. But I'm just really excited about seeing it all come together and a lot of the great work that the team's done so far.
Well, congratulations on the addition to the 2023 schedule. Thank you for the time, Ben, and we cannot wait for the green flag to wave on the Chicago Street Course in 2023.
All right, back here in Studio 3, and I am joined now by Kim Kuhn. And Kim, I know you sat down with Ben Kennedy a couple of days ago before the announcement was made, talking about the planning and what went into this street course. So what stood out about that interview with Ben for the street course in Chicago?
Yeah, just that is the planning. So we heard rumblings of this Chicago street course, but I don't know that anybody realizes how long they've actually been thinking about this. This wasn't just on a whim, okay, let's throw Cup cars on the streets of Chicago. It's been not 1 year, it's been multiple years of, okay, maybe let's do this, and then what does this look like from a planning perspective, and then okay, we're doing it, and then how do they execute it? Not only that, tying in a major metropolis. It's not like we're in the middle of the country where there's not a lot of things to take in terms of a planning perspective. They have to work around all of the things that a major city like Chicago deals with, and so just the closeness they've had to work with Chicago to make this happen.
Yeah, we are racing around skyscrapers,
Yeah.
so I think a lot of planning goes into it for sure. Just from covering the sport and watching the different style of racetracks that we've seen, most recent we've had dirt at Bristol, we've had, you know, racing in the Coliseum down there in downtown LA, but what are you most excited about with this street course? Because I know, like, this is going to be a fun weekend for the fans and for us working.
Yeah, so I've been to street courses before. I've been to Long Beach, the streets of Toronto, and it's just a different level of excitement. It's different eyes on the sport. But I think a lot of people are going to compare it to the Coliseum, and we should. We should in terms of the undertaking to put a new circuit on the racetrack and get new eyes on the sport. But a major difference that I think people maybe are overlooking is Coliseum was an exhibition race. Chicago Street Course is a points race. So talk about the intensity we saw in LA. Well, ratchet it up because now points are on the line. A playoff spot is on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And just from covering those street courses, what can fans expect is the atmosphere going to be like this weekend? Because we are in the heart of downtown Chicago, and there's going to be stock cars racing on the streets.
It's going to be an atmosphere like you've never seen before. Just so different than anything we've experienced before. Yes, we can take all of the elements we'll see on the Chicago Street Course, the music, the festival type vibe, and put it on a racetrack, but it's totally different when you're placing it right in the middle of the city. We're talking about different eyes on the sport. You know, you could have somebody just, you know, leaving their job for the day and say, there's cars racing in Chicago, stop and watch. Great for sponsors too, new sponsors to have eyes on the sport and seeing what we can do and the chances and risks we're willing to take. So I think it's very, very exciting, and I cannot wait until the green flag waves.
Yeah, it's a lunch and a show, the ultimate.
Yeah.
All right, Kim, well, I know we're excited. We're going to go ahead and book our tickets because we're going to make sure we're there. All right, Kim, thanks so much for joining us, and let's head back now to Chicago.
Hey guys, let's get the street portion of this going. Cara Bachman and Ben Kennedy and the kids from the Boys and Girls Club. Are you guys ready? You guys fired up? All right? Ready to see Bubba drive around the streets of Chicago? I am. So here we go. I'm going to count to 3, and then we'll all do it together. You guys ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
There it is. Bubba Wallace will continue to make his route down the streets of downtown Chicago, and make sure to tune into NASCAR's channels for all of that content with Bubba throughout the week. And then visit NASCARchicago.com for all of your event information and to sign up for event alerts, as tickets will go on sale later this summer. All right, race fans, we are heading back to the Chicago market, and this time it's the streets of Chicago. Thanks so much for joining us here in Studio 3 for this special day in the sport of NASCAR, and we'll see you in Chicago in 2023.